Good afternoon, everyone. It looks like the chance for thunderstorms still in the forecast, but it looks like an early evening overnight event. Nothing severe expected today, but things will be changing for tomorrow. Let's go ahead and take a look at Tower Cam. The lunchtime crowd headed south on Interstate 27. A lot of milky clouds out there. We call those mid-level clouds. Nothing to be concerned about as far as rain goes so far. 59, the current temperature out at the National Weather Service, 48 the dew point. We certainly would like to see that up near 55, 60 degrees. We'll have to wait a few more days, if not weeks, for that to happen. South winds at 7, expecting those to come up as we get deeper into the afternoon, and then the pressure rising 30.18 inches in our local barometer. And as we look at temperature this morning, about normal, 52 out at the National Weather Service. Should be 80 this afternoon, not going to do that. And 100 degrees back in this state in 1925. That doesn't happen very often, does it? 41 the low, set back in 1960. Here's what your backyard thermometers look like across the Panhandle and surrounding regions. Really cool up at the northeast and western corners. 43, one of the cooler readings for Perryton, Guyman with 46. Also 45 and 44 respectively for Dalhart and Clayton. Eastern New Mexico, south of Clayton in the 50s, so about average for them too. As we look at the almanac page, a few more statistics for our Tuesday afternoon. Precipitation yesterday in the rain bucket out at the National Weather Service, officially 11/100ths. So for the month, just shy of an inch. That we're below for the month, but if you look at the year, still about 4 inches above the average. So that's good news, and hopefully we'll add to that before week's end, and I bet we will in a big way in parts of the Panhandle. Currently across the region, temperatures reflecting a relatively mild start to the day. 65 degrees in Childress, 64 currently in Gage Woodward, 63 for you in Borger. A little bit cooler up to the northwest, but we expect that. And we're looking at Dalhart, Spearman, Sherman County, possibly Hansford County, also Boise City, targeting for some thunderstorm activity later this afternoon and evening in the weak flow out of the southwest. Bigger thunderstorms in the early morning heat, losing that heat, continue to lose their intensity, but refiring over the Gulf of Mexico just off the coast of Brownsville down here. Not too concerned with what's going on down there. It's what's to our south that we're going to be focusing on. Little subtropical moisture, little daytime heat over the mountains of New Mexico. That'll be the breeding ground for thunderstorms of the non-severe variety. In fact, the Storm Prediction Center is outlooking that area for approaching severe weather. We have it on the radar not far from Deming, New Mexico, here near the boot heel of New Mexico, just to the west of El Paso. Moving north quite slowly, only about 20 miles per hour, but eventually we'll see the radar light up here along the mountain chain in central New Mexico, and then those upper level winds very slowly will move those things into Union County, possibly the western Oklahoma Panhandle, but that's later on today. Here are the risk areas. Notice we're not in any of the orange, not even in the blue, but you know, things can change and we're expecting them to, as this is springtime and anything can happen. 68 will be our target temperature for this afternoon with mostly cloudy skies. Albuquerque, the promise of a shower at 77, going to be in the 50s overnight tonight. Here's your forecast for this afternoon. Southeast winds ultimately up to 20 miles per hour with 68 the hopefully peak temperature. A little bit warmer than yesterday afternoon. Mostly cloudy though. We're going to have a pretty much run-of-the-mill day as far as sky conditions goes. Chance of thunderstorms overnight, not severe. 40% chance, 53 the expected low with south winds to 20 miles per hour. And the 7-day forecast has us in the rain chances Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Looks like the heaviest stuff will be returning to the Panhandle tomorrow, Thursday, possibly Friday. We'll have to watch it and see, but notice things still clearing out for the weekend, and hopefully the subsequent model runs will indicate that continuing.
I'm sure that's good news for the FunFest coordinators.
Yeah. We'll have
since that is coming up this weekend.
They're ringing the phone off the hook back there. I'm going to keep them informed, and hopefully it won't rain.
All right. Maybe Mother Nature will cooperate this time, huh, Charlie?
Sure hope so.
Okay, thank you. And now I'll throw it over to Alex with the scoop.
All right, Debbie, thanks. Well, the Baywatch... But joining us now with the final forecast, Charlie Sill. Take it away.
Well, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to look at a nice day, a little bit warmer than yesterday, around 68 for the high temperature, but mostly cloudy. We have some persistent mid-level clouds moving in on southwesterly winds that aren't very weak, so we'll hang on to those for much of the day. 72 for tomorrow, 74 for Thursday, and upper 70s for Friday. We're looking at the chance of thunderstorms each day, and I've just been introduced to some new storm chasers, one from California sitting back in the weather office, another from Washington, D.C., and they said, Charlie, when's it gonna get busy around here? I said, well, tomorrow and Thursday are probably they're going to be the heaviest days, but Storm Surge 7 will be on top of it, and it's going to be interesting because the pattern is changing. We need upper level winds out of the southwest for big storms, and I think we're going to get that, but we'll have to wait another 24 to 48 hours before it happens.
This is the place to come for all the weather news, huh?
Yeah, it's amazing. People come from all over the country to this part of the country to watch the weather. Well, I did it 5 years ago.
We're something to watch.
And here I am, still watching it.
All right. Well, thank you, Charlie. We're glad you're still here.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us.
Have a great day, everyone.
Halloween Eve across the U.S. We're continuing to see a cutoff low pressure system in the south central part of the nation. As we let you know a few days ago, it was going to be pretty much a washout in this part of the country. Good evening. I'm Charlie Sill. We'll continue to see this cutoff low pressure system and the moisture it's bringing in from the Gulf of Mexico. Not much upper level push with it, so don't expect it to move off to the east very quickly. But the associated clouds up to the north just creating slightly cooler temperatures. A few spits and drizzles across the upper peninsula of Michigan is pretty much all we can expect. Temperatures indicating where the rain is falling, certainly a lot cooler than it would be if it weren't there. Reporting now at Kansas City 63, 57 in Dallas, Fort Worth. A little bit warmer closer to the coast you get. We're looking at Houston now at 84 degrees and 76 in tip of Louisiana there. A little bit cooler behind here, but notice we're not seeing a big chunk of cool air. We're certainly dealing with the Indian summer thing, and with this area of low pressure tracking across the south central U.S., we can anticipate a little bit cooler temperatures with the band of clouds in association with the front all the way up into parts of Michigan and then southern Ontario. Beautiful weather out west. Trick-or-treat plans will go off without a hitch in Denver as well, Phoenix, and much of Albuquerque. Certainly a perfect weather situation there. Little backflow around high pressure, continuing to see a little band of showers move in here along the South Carolina and Georgia border, but it doesn't look like it'll be a total washout for you as we get into Sunday afternoon and evening. Northeast, absolutely spectacular. We'll continue with high pressure, not doing what we've seen it do in the past, and that's build on down to the south. If that were to happen, we'd have a northeast wind and certainly much cooler temperatures in that part of this part of the country, but beautiful. Trenton on over to Philadelphia. We're looking at Pittsburgh, on to Columbus, Ohio. Just terrific. Got any trick-or-treat plans? Take advantage of the nice weather. Back to the bad stuff. We're continuing to see, now even though we do need the rain here, we'll continue to see this, but with the train pattern that we're seeing, raining in one place and the rain coming in again from the south, we may have to deal with some flooding problems from Fort Smith. Definitely ponding along the I-40 corridor between Oklahoma City and Fort Smith. But notice an interesting feature here. The area of low pressure, counterclockwise spinning here in the atmosphere, is sending the rain to the south from the north in the Lawton area. That's something you don't see very often, but with a large expanse of rain. And notice the demarcation line very pronounced here just to the east of Fort Smith. A lot of rain. We're probably going to see a couple of inches out of this, but again, the slow-moving nature of the system will be the thing we'll have to think about for some potential flooding over the area. Another area of low pressure well to the north continues to bring rain to southern Ontario and the extreme western UP of Michigan here at Iron Mountain, Michigan. Really not too much to worry about there. But this is probably going to be here tomorrow, a little bit farther east, but you may have to take the umbrella if you want to go trick-or-treating. On to the south, continue the rain. Generally from Kansas City southward. Again, not much upper air easterly push to this, so anticipate more of the same. Beautiful out west, we're continuing to see a little area of low pressure move on shore again. Nothing compared to what we saw last week, but still Olympia and the coastal sections of northeastern Washington, a little bit of rain. This is going to be the precursor to something that's going to cause the atmosphere to bring some more cool air into Canada. We'll continue with that as we get through the early week hours, and then by midweek, we'll probably see much cooler temperatures from the plains on southward. Another Saturday early evening, we're continuing to see that area of low pressure. Notice nice in the west, nice in the east as we get through the afternoon on Sunday. Sunday morning, notice it pretty much stays where it is. A few showers along South Florida will continue due to a surface trough down there, and we're hopefully going to get this thing moving. But in the interim, certainly an inch of rainfall not out of the question as we get into the border between Texas and Louisiana. We're talking Shreveport on southward to Beaumont, Texas, and Lake Charles, Louisiana. Sunday's highs, beautiful in the east again, all the way from, well, just north of the nation's capital in Trenton, New Jersey, on south towards Florida. May have to deal with some showers tomorrow in Florida as well, but as we look at the middle part of the nation and the bulk of the nation, in fact, apart from the rain, perfect trick-or-treat weather. If you want to take the kids out, looks like a terrific night to do it. As we get through the area, there is another look at the satellite picture. We'll continue with that in this area of rainfall, just a nemesis for Halloween if you live in that part of the country. Good morning, everyone. I'm Charlie Sill. In the world of weather, things aren't going to be changing over the next 24 hours. It looks like we'll stay with the nice and sunny conditions. Warm too.
It was beautiful yesterday, and you said today it was going to be even better.
Yeah, I think today will be in the mid to upper 70s as opposed to the lower 70s. But who's going to complain? You know?
Oh yeah, it's all the same to me. It's all nice and sunny.
We're probably going to pay for it later. In fact, why don't we just go over to the weather wall? I'll show you exactly what we're talking about. We've got a stalled frontal boundary slash trough of low pressure in the region. That continues to keep our winds variable for the most part. The last few hours they've been out of the west and southwest. Now, ironically, out of the north, sort of evidence that this thing is trying to push to the east, and I think it's doing a pretty good job keeping most of the clouds well to our north, so we don't have to worry about dense high cloudiness for the most part. Looks like most of that's going to be kicking into, well, Kansas, Oklahoma for today, much of the state of Texas. Just a gorgeous fall afternoon. Frontal boundary still stuck out here, not generating anything except maybe a slight temperature difference. So, coming up in the next weather segment, I'll let you know what we can expect with the changes coming. Alex?
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Charlie.
Good morning, Alex. What you got there?
Oh, I was just reading over this newspaper.
Farm and Ranch
Yes,
show.
this program that we're going to talk about a little later in our live cast.
I got some good news this morning.
What is it?
Longtime friend of mine. I've known him since I was 6 years old and he was 4. Of course, we're 2 years apart. He and his wife are having a baby.
Really?
Or going to, I should say, yeah.
That's great. Well, congratulations.
It's funny because a few months ago I asked him, I said, George, are you going to have kids? And he said, well, no, we're going to send Bernadette to school so she can get her doctorate in psychology. And
Wrong.
Now they're going to be twice as busy because she's going to have to be a mom and a student.
And are you going to be like a godfather or something?
Haven't decided that yet. Don't know.
We'll see.
Don't know.
That should be exciting.
Okay.
It's going to be such a nice day today. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I'm glad. We try to deliver the best we can. We'll go right now and look at current conditions
You
out
sure
there.
do a good job at it.
Well, I appreciate your thanking me. We sort of take credit when it's good, and when it's bad, we have to take credit as well. But we all know who's really in charge of the weather, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
Can't forget that. 50 degrees out there. I never thought I'd wake up in late November and see a current temperature like this, but this is true. Under clear skies, we have a 36-degree dew point. Relative humidity now at 79%. Winds, unusually enough, are out of the north now at 8 miles per hour, and we're the only station here in the central panhandle reporting that north wind. Let's see, Clayton, Tucumcari, Clovis. You all have west winds, and Borger has a west wind as well. So we've kind of got this little area of low pressure trying to develop in the region. Temperatures showing the downsloping wind effect. Currently 54 in Clovis. You're going to be close to 80 degrees this afternoon. It'll be very comfortable, very sunny out there. 51 now at Clayton, 47 at Borger. Only place near the freezing mark is you up in Liberal, down to 40 near Childress, and a little bit warmer than that for Altus in southwest Oklahoma. We have an interesting situation up here. We've got the cooler air obviously to the north and east of this frontal boundary. Liberal, you just showed that with a 34-degree reading, and a trough of low pressure in the vicinity. So we're going to continue to keep things stirred up with a breeze out of the west and hopefully southwest. That's where our warm winds come from, after all, on the high plains of West Texas and eastern New Mexico. So, as it rolls into motion, you can see this dense high cloudiness coming in from the north. But notice the southern boundary of it continues to shift northward. What's that an indication of? Well, we got high pressure at the surface and aloft, and low pressure, a trough, if you will, in the upper level winds well to our east. So we've got a little bit of amplification in the upper level winds going up and down. So we're on the good side of everything. Looks like things will stay that way for the next, 24 hours. Possibly things change tomorrow night. More on that during our Pro News noon report. 70s, going to be pushing up into portions of Kansas. 34, won't last long in Liberal. We're going to get that southwest wind in there later on today, so you'll look forward to temperatures warmer than they should be. Indian summer continues here. 40s overnight lows and 50s, possibly for some folks in the southern panhandle and southeast panhandle. Breezy and mild today with a trough of low pressure. Front lifts back to the north as a warm front. Snow to the north of it, not very far away, and I think we're going to be paying for these warm temperatures a little bit later. Our forecast, we'll give it to you right now, looks like this. Warmer with a 76-degree reading by late in the day. We can anticipate that to continue for tomorrow even with continued southwest winds. So enjoy it while you can. Then for tonight, things cool off significantly. Love those effects. 45, the expected low temperature, southwest winds continuing overnight, but it'll be clear and just downright mild. So things are going to be changing toward the weekend as we see some cooler Arctic air moving in, but not all of a sudden. It's going to come in very gradually, keep us in the 40s and 50s, I think, for the weekend. But that's
That
several
doesn't
days
sound
away.
so bad.
No, as long as it comes in slowly, I think your body can be acclimated to it, and I'm still trying to get over this
And
silly...
besides, it's only Tuesday, so we still have a whole work week ahead of us
Yep.
to enjoy this nice weather.
Yeah, or do you have reporting to do today? You get to go outside?
I don't know. I guess that would be up to my boss.
Okay.
We'll see.
A little bit later.
Thanks, Charlie. We'll check in with you a little later, too.
Okay.
Charlie, you have a sad story to tell us?
Why do you have a smile on your face? It's not funny.
Yeah, it's well, tell them
Okay.
first.
Talked to my mom 2 days ago, and my mom and dad had a hummingbird caught in their house.
That's horrible.
Yeah, there's a stairwell at the top with a window, and he could see out up there, but apparently he died yesterday, and they buried him.
That's horrible. See, he had told me, he warned me that he had a sad story to tell me. So,
But just the thought of the hummingbird coming
Yes.
into the house, I don't know why it would do that, but they have these feeders hanging out in their back patio, and I think he just got confused and scared
Oh,
and flew
no.
into the breakfast room, into the living room, and then upstairs. So they buried
That
him
is a sad
yesterday.
story.
Very sad story.
that's very nice of your parents to bury it.
Yeah, very dignified way to go, I think.
It's raining a lot in L.A., isn't it?
Not right now, but it
No?
was yesterday. I haven't called my dad to find out how much, but I think about 2 inches probably in their
Hmm.
rain gauge. Around here, just very dry. We're expecting that to continue. Current temperature out there, quite comfortable. Haven't dropped below 50 degrees overnight. Currently 54 with a dew point of 36. That's actually one of the higher dew points we've seen in the last couple of days. And when you look at the winds now, west at 16, you don't think too much about it. But later on today, once we get a little bit of sunshine and the upper level system, which is generating those winds, comes into the plains of West Texas and eastern New Mexico, we can expect winds out of the west and southwest 20 to 30 and gusty. A light caution statement has been issued by the National Weather Service. So if you have any fishing plans today, take it easy out there. Here's what it looks like. This does not look like December, folks. I'm sure you know that more so than I. You've probably lived here longer than I have. 57 at Borger. That's just amazing. Just to think, a little over a week ago, we had several inches of snow on the ground. 54 at Amarillo, 46 in Dalhart, a couple better than that at Clayton and Clovis. You're sitting pretty at 43 degrees. Looks like we'll probably do this again for tomorrow morning, a little bit cooler, but the 30s won't be back until, we're thinking early Friday morning. So a brief respite, back to the Indian summer thing. Here's the trough we were talking about a few minutes ago, now into portions of Oklahoma, all the way down to the Permian Basin. But clouds behind it are evidence that a very strong winter system is making its way from the Great Basin of Nevada into the Intermountain West. Wolf Creek Pass, I think, got an inch of snow overnight. That's in the San Juan Mountains here in southern Colorado, and they're going to expect to get about 8 more inches before this system is done and out of here. Rolling it into motion, we can see the energy with which that system is rotating into the Rocky Mountain states, but headed to the northeast. If this were headed right across the Panhandle, I wouldn't get worried for one reason, because, well, it's moving very quickly, and two, our low-level moisture needs to be a little bit better for precipitation. Right now, just a lot of wind going to be expected with this one. Temperatures, though, much like yesterday. Yesterday's record of 77 was eclipsed by a high temperature yesterday afternoon of 80. The record today is 80, so I'm going for 79 in the central Panhandle, and down to the southeast, of course, just a little bit warmer. Downsloping winds, in spite of the cloud cover, will help us warm up into the mid and upper 70s today, while the snow and the rain continues in the Four Corners states and out east. Not much to talk about. Just fair skies from Little Rock all the way down to Louisiana. Looks like that trend will continue for the next couple of days as well. Forecast city temperatures, Albuquerque not bad at 60 with partly cloudy skies. We'll be in the upper 70s along with Dallas. Houston getting in on the 80s as well with 82 expected. Brilliant sunshine down there. And your forecast specifics coming at you right now. Warm? Yeah, I guess we could say that. 79 the expected high by about 5 o'clock this afternoon. West-southwest winds, 30 and gusty. We're saying keep it, tie it down, use extra hairspray, put stones in your pockets, and do anything you can to keep your kids from flying away. Partly cloudy will be the sky condition with the advance of that upper level system. Then for tomorrow, or tonight I should say, 44. Very mild night with partly cloudy skies. No moon to speak of. We're in the new moon phase, and it's not visible right now. But in a few days, we'll see a thin crescent make its way back into the skies overhead.
We are breaking records, aren't we?
Sure are. I think the last time we did this was in the 70s.
Wow. I got a Christmas card. I want to say hi to Joe Snee, who sent me a cute little Christmas card. Isn't that pretty?
Yeah, it's a watercolor.
Yeah, it
That is-
kind of matches our poinsettias on the table, see?
Yeah.
I like that. Thank you, Joe. That's very nice of you.
Thanks, Joe.